Hey all, this is Anton.
And I'm the Flameclaw.
And welcome back to HFC's May Rio event. For the conclusion, it is time for what may very well be the best 2D Mario ever created. Now, personally, I'd throw my hat in for Super Mario World, but 3 has more than its fair share of defenders. I think you are one of them, Flame?
Yes, I do like 3 a lot. What I kind of like about 3 the most is 3 feels like a bigger and better version of 1. Because with both versions of Mario 2, whether you're in Japan or whether you're you're playing the international version, it was a very experimental time. Whereas this feels very much, we'll go back to the design mentality of the first game, except now we've got more level tropes, we've got more themes, it's got a whole new visual style, it's got a lot more going on.
Yeah.
And I will start off by saying that for this playthrough, I decided to do something that hasn't happened before in HFC. I decided to avoid the first enemy rather than dying to it. Sorry, Snake. But, yeah.
Oh, goodbye, single red Goomba. Nah, I'm just kidding, we'll see more of those later. But 3 is notable for introducing a lot of firsts to the franchise. Obviously, we saw the map screen here. There are items you can pick up and store away for later. Bowser got his iconic red hair from this game, which is something I didn't realise until checking out the Wikipedia like a couple of days ago.
Well, we've talked about throughout 2, the things that the series has inherited from 2. There's a lot of stuff that has stuck around from 3. Because, if you remember the first game, your Mario power-ups were basically, you go from Small Mario to Big Mario to Fire Mario, and that's about it. Whereas here, right away, you see we've got a new power-up that I'm using here, the Raccoon Suit. And what this means is that I'm not going to be playing this as a Mario game. I'm basically going to be playing this as a Kirby game, because there's parts where you can just fly over fucking everything, and I love it.
Well, the difference is that Kirby, I think in many of his games, if not most of them, he has unlimited flight. Here, you're basically falling slowly.
This takes a lot more skill to pull off well than Kirby does, because for Kirby, he's just mash the button and you fly over stuff, whereas this one, you need a run-up, and then you need to keep your jumps going so that you don't crash into things, because obviously if you crash into something, then Mario loses all sense of momentum and just falls down. So you still got to actually do stuff. You do actually have to play the game.
I will say, comparing 3 to World, I always found this the easier control method in regards to flight as compared to the Super Cape.
The cape is a very interesting power, and I do appreciate when I see people do really skilled things with it. But this is the one that it's pleb friendly. Even I can make this work.
Pick a box, its contents will help you on your way.
I have a fire flower now, but as you can probably tell from how I was gushing over the Raccoon Suit, that's what I'm going to be using for most of the run, at least until we get something a bit better.
Now, I would actually be remiss if I didn't mention that one of the directors of Mario Bros. 3, Takashi Tezuka, has since retired, or will be retiring soon at the time of us recording this, from Nintendo. And if you're wondering why that is such a big deal, let me scroll on down to his directorial credits here. From 1988 to, I would say, just before Mario 64 came out in 96, he directed Mario 3, Mario World, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, obviously you had Super Mario All-Stars, and Yoshi's Island. Amazing work, and he has been a supervisor, a general producer, regular producer, senior producer, and all such roles, up until meet up in Bella Bell Park for Super Mario Wonder, so God bless the man, I think he's more than earned his retirement.
Absolutely, yeah, and I know that even before he was directing stuff, I'm pretty sure Tezuka was credited on Mario 1 as well. This is a very interesting time for Nintendo, because at this point it feels like this is going to be the generation where all the original staff from the NES era kind of fully ship a Theseus out,
Yeah.
a lot of the guys are getting that bit older, and like there's going to be more people retiring soon. And so, like, you know, with the big names, like Miyamoto's obviously got his Creative Fellow credit right now. That's his role in Nintendo right now.
Yeah.
Eventually there's going to come a time when it's entirely new blood, and so it's going to be interesting to see how many of like Nintendo's old design philosophies carry over and how many don't.
Yeah, true. Well, I guess that's the thing with Nintendo that works out in their favour. They're always training, like, new blood. Like, the Splatoon guys is a more recent example. Were some of these guys, you know, they got given their own thing to do, and it's a major brand now.
It's something that Nintendo, it works and it doesn't work for them depending on the project. Because I remember, like, quite a while ago, I think it was around the time that the Wii was out, and Nintendo were going heavily into, like, the sports games, the Wii Fit, that sort of thing. It was Miyamoto who was saying that sometimes they like to take on people who haven't got much experience with video games at all. And the reason for that is that those people are less likely to just follow conventions.
Yes.
They're more likely to think outside the box. That kind of puts a lot of stuff into perspective, because like Nintendo, the thing that they've praised for a lot, the reason why a lot of their games are influential is because of their creativity.
Yeah.
But a lot of their criticism comes from the fact that they seem out of touch with other parts of the gaming industry, and like some of their business techniques, some of their being slow to adopt industry trends, like online gaming took them forever to get right, things like that. So it kind of explains how Nintendo end up being how Nintendo are.
I would not bet against Nintendo on any given day of the week, really, because you never know how they will react. And just to clarify what Flame was saying earlier about Takashi Tezuka, he was the director on The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. He was assistant director on Super Mario Bros. And also Devil World, the very first game he directed in '84. But what I covered was basically his golden era.
Yeah, fair enough. But like, to get to the point where you're directing fantastic games like this, you got to have a few games under your belt to start with, haven't you? And he clearly did.
Very much so. Alright, another box.
I will start skipping these after the first world, but you know, like, I see freebies here, and it's like, I kinda gonna, you know?
So the main plot of this is that Bowser, he sent his Koopalings out, and they did weird things to, like, the various kings of the land, like turn this dude into a snake, so we've got to get his magic wand back.
Yeah, and the kind of what he disguised the kings as in this game, in this version of the game, it was changed in All Stars, because like they were more generic animals from what I remember, whereas here they're like other more like stylized Mario enemies that they look like now.
Yeah.
Like that snake was, I'm pretty sure that's meant to be the snake from Mario 2. But yeah, the airships are also a new thing in this game. I can't say I'm a fan, but that's because they're auto-scrollers, and if there's one thing that I'm not a fan of that this game brought more of into the Mario series, it is just stand here and wait for the screen to go across in its own time, it's fine.
Yeah, alright, just because that, like, final level in Sonic Forces is terrible doesn't mean we have to paint all auto-scrollers with the same brush.
Name a good auto-scroller.
Bridge Zone in Sonic 1 Master System.
The music doesn't mean it's a good level.
I'm just gonna leave you hanging there, that's fine. World 1 done, baby, and that was pretty smooth.
Yep, I managed to play level 1 in the game pretty well. I'm getting up there, lads. There, he's got his magic wand back.
So is this still in the Mushroom Kingdom?
I'm not entirely sure, because like the thing that was like a speculation for a long time that then kind of became confirmed when Miyamoto talked about it is that this game is portraying a stage play. It's like the visuals around that are kind of downplayed in All Stars compared to the NES one, but whether these areas are real places or not, that's, I guess your mileage may vary, whether they're just fictional locations for this stage show or whether they're based on a true story.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, it says here, in the Mushroom World, Bowser has his 7 children, the Koopalings, conquer each of the 7 kingdoms by stealing its king's magical wand. So, I guess you have the Mushroom Kingdom, and then there are other kingdoms. I'm kind of surprised Daisy didn't show up here, considering it's, like, Arabian-themed.
Yeah, true, though, like, there was this similar sort of theming in 2, and she wasn't there either. So, like, there's a lot of, like, desertous regions in the Mario world, though, aren't there? So
I did say in 2 that, you know, going forward, we would have sand level as, like, the second trope of any given game. I was correct here. Maybe not so much going forward.
I don't know, like, a lot of Mario games have Desert World as well, too. Like, I'm pretty sure all the new games do, at the very least.
Actually, let me check Mario Wonder here to see if I'm right.
One thing that is interesting about this game is it doesn't show you the names right away, but these worlds do actually have given names. And that might sound exciting until you find out what they are, because World 1 is named Grassland, World 2 is called Desert Hill.
There you go. In Mario Wonder, World 2 is called Fluff Puff Peaks. In fact, it wouldn't be until World 4 that you get Sunbaked Desert.
It's kind of funny that feels really novel for a Mario game now. It's the desert trope is always going to be there in platformers. It's not really ever been my favourite because, like, there's sand everywhere. There's only so much you can do to make it visually unique. But it's also ticking the box.
Is this the first time Booze will show up?
I think so, yes. Like, for this game, they're still just sort of sprinkled around sparingly. It's when they had the ghost houses in World that they kind of became a lot more established, though.
Boos, originally known as Boo Diddlies and later Boo Buddies or simply Ghosts, are recurring ghost enemies that first appear in Super Mario Bros. 3.
Thank you, Ned Flanders, for contributing to the wiki.
Hardly ho!
Also, like, in terms of the visual style here, I think this one got the best treatment with All Stars. Yes. I think the base style that they had in the NES one, it kind of lends itself better to, like, this more colourful approach that they're going for. There's some sections where I question, like, the decisions of, like, the colours they're using, like, more so the bonus rooms, like, when you fly up and there's just, like, the tile colours in the background. But, like, it's also, there's some sections where it feels like they've changed what kind of trope it was. Like, there was an earlier level, I think in the first world, where I remember it having, like, more of a crystal aesthetic in the NES one that they interpreted as more like a grassy cave area.
God bless you, Flame, but whenever you start talking about Colour Theory, I just zone out. I'm sorry.
I'm not even just talking about the colours here, I'm talking about what the world looks like. There's a difference between, like, a grassland and a crystal cave area.
If you say so, mate.
Look, I'm sorry that looking at the screen and describing what you see is out of your level, okay, Tom?
Alright, you watch what you're saying there, my friend.
Yes, we're getting chased by the sun. This is one of the more memorable parts from 3.
The sun was me. Mario was Flame. You are the viewer, and that's a star, and those are hills. How's that for describing shit on screen, you cock?
I mean, it was accurate because I beat you.
Fair.
Yes, we do have these little sub-levels where there's just an enemy blocking the way on the overworld. And I will say, like, the overworld itself, like, as someone who generally prefers more linear progression systems, I quite like how it's handled in 3, in that it's enough to give you context for what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's also not enough that you're gonna waste time in there. Like, you can avoid certain levels if you want. You don't have to do every level. There's some you can skip. But, you know, I'm showing off everything here. Everything?
Even the warps?
No, because the warps in themselves involve not showing off everything.
Ah, yes.
The paradox of warp points.
Schrodinger's playthrough.
Christ.
You did so well in that first level, getting all 3 stars. Now it just seems like you don't care anymore.
I mean, there comes a point where I stop giving a shit about getting extra lives, Tom.
Well, you know, if you're never gonna get even hit, let alone die, what's the point?
You did see me gambling on the bonus screens in 2 a lot, so I do still have the tendencies to try and farm it. It's just the way they're integrated into the levels here. If you're trying to get a full sweep, then you do have to intentionally slow down and line yourself up to make the jump sometimes. And that kind of goes against my other philosophy when I'm playing games of I like to go fast.
It's true.
So, it's these cave areas that had more of a crystal aesthetic in the original. That's what I was thinking of here.
Oh.
If I'm thinking about the NES's limited colour palette, I could see how they might have decided to use that look for, a cave area, but at the same time, in my head, the part of me that filled in the blanks mentally, I was thinking crystal, so it's a bit of a step down.
No, I totally understand what you're talking about here. And I'm going to be honest, for a while, I didn't really understand what you were talking about, but I remember the Only Players run where they played base free. And yeah, Crystal Cave is the correct way to describe it.
It's not quite the, Black Knight level, but that's its own thing.
If only. Hammer!
Can't actually do much for that until the RPGs, sorry guys. Which, that's a bit of the Mario series that I'm a little bit out of touch with. The only Mario RPGs I've played are the SNES one and Superstar Saga, but that's something that I want to get around to playing more of them over time, because I do like both of those games.
Well, I have a great game for you to start with. It's very easy. You can pick it up on 3DS.
I know where you're going with this, but you are tempting fate, because if I end up liking it, you know that's going to end up being your problem.
Well, you could not like it, but still pretend to. I know how you are.
You get so mad, it's funny.
I know. You would think I would learn after a while, but no.
That's the fun part of working with someone who's very easy to bite.
Or maybe I just pretend to feel angry just to feel something, anything, you know?
Yeah, you are only pretending to spend 3 years straight seething on Twitter about people being mean about your little cartoon.
Okay, Flame. Watch yourself, my son.
It's fine. I don't have to worry anymore because it got cancelled for being racist.
God, that discourse was so funny. Alright, next Koopaling, baby. It's Morton Jr.
They have unique characters for these bosses, but aside from their projectile, it's mostly just the same thing.
You would have to wait until the superior 2D Mario World for them to have unique attack patterns and whatnot. Also, Morton Jr., I think someone cheated.
We just don't ask questions, okay?
It's probably best not to, my friend. Dad, what are you doing here?
It does actually look like it could be.
And so, 2 worlds are down. With many more to go, will Mario finally reach Princess Toadstool and rescue her? Of course. But yeah, get the Karibo shoe. It's a good idea. We'll see you next time for more of Super Mario Bros. 3.